Hello and welcome to Pheasant Hunger Games. It's a new mid-week mixed clan event today. It's certainly going to be a fun one, I think. Let me turn my music back up a little bit because that's for some reason muted itself. There we go, all good. So we've got a new one. We've got plenty of good teams here though, so don't be worried about that one. Loads of teams. We've got 5-0 first. We've got DC. We've got 106 Hell, at least Poland, STDB, WTH are here as well. Bringing tank crew and infantry on the other side. And that might be NZN are here as well, alongside Hell, at least Italia on the Axis team. So plenty of good players here today. Should be a good scrap on Omaha Beach. Let me flip us into looking at the game. We've got Patson commanding the Allies for now, though he was not officially set as the commander. So he may drop out, and on the other side, on the Axis, we had Ninja Pulver starting off as commander, but again, remains to be seen whether he sticks around as commander throughout this game. So taking a look at the map, we've got Virville-sur-Mer as our midpoint. So the Axis have got Les Isles and the Orchards. And then we've got WN73 and the Draw as our points. Hopefully, we see a really nice game. It's going to be an incredibly wide map to play on. There's going to be a lot of width to the attacks on this one, I would imagine. So it will certainly be interesting to see who can counter that the best and who can live with the width on this. And we can already see from the map maps we've got on here just how wide some of these players are going, though I think Doc might be one of the recon squads there, getting himself a supply truck, and they're even dropping supplies for him as well. So that's going to be a couple of backline garrisons set up already coming through. Got a couple of rules on this one. We do have artillery. Each team has got one outpost each. One artillery gunner each. They are unkillable. Also, the nodes in HQ are not allowed to be destroyed either. So we're going to see plenty of good artillery action. We saw yesterday in the Goff versus 116 match just how strong one unkillable artillery player can be, picking up nearly 200 kills in that game, Florian. He was about 230 kills, I think, something like that. And so plenty of action from the artillery side of things to go on here. And with this being Virville-sur-Mer, certainly if they get pushed out of the point, this Axis team, they're going to have a hell of a time breaking through that artillery wall. But they have got the easier approach into this, there's no doubt about that. A couple of their trucks can make pretty direct runs in towards the point. And we can see here we've got one truck just heading on to that northern side of the point, and then there's another truck here onto the southern side of the strong point. Truck makes it in unharmed, the artillery not hitting them. In fact, artillery particularly poor there, not really hitting anything, with the mark now coming into a bit more of a sensible location. And then we see one of these squads here from the Allies starting to move their way forward, but they're going to get caught out pretty early on, coming up against Thorpe here. Soldad peek in that corner, taking shots but missing. Does get Thorpe though. There's breakpoint there immediately. And this STDB squad here have got no contest in this zone, and they're going to run all the way through this town. I think they're going to make really good ground up. The one thing they will have to worry about is just how wide this attack is here from the Allies. We've got Winston and Offline there making this incredibly wide attack. 501 ES are actually in position to counter this, and that's really, really lucky. That's great. I think that's just luck. That's pretty fortunate. I've just realized I actually have nameplate occlusion on, so let me turn that off. What's that sitting under? There we go. Let's turn that off so we can see everyone on the map. Perfect. There we go. That's much better. As you can see, 501 ES are in the zone. However, they are getting fragged out by this DC crew here. So we'll see how they get on in just a short little while. But this STDB squad here are running through, and they're going to be coming up against AGS down here and his squad very, very shortly. But this is a quick cap coming in, very little contest. I didn't expect there to be much from the Allies though, and this point is very, very nice to defend. If you are the Axis, there's only a couple of routes that you can really get into it. Otherwise, it's just open fields. Let's take a quick look at this this front side here. We can see a couple of routes up being covered off here already. One of them there on the arrow by 501 ES, one of them being taken here by the players in the center of our screen, and then you can certainly make your way around this way. But of course, it's a long way round, and it's still pretty dangerous. This zone that I'm about to highlight here is very difficult to try and cross through. Open fields at the back, open fields at the back, open fields at the front. This is open field as well with a little bit of cover in it. It's not impossible to try and push through those zones. You need your artillery to really walk you in, and when you've got shooters like Thorpe on this front line, certainly it becomes even harder to break through there. Let's have a quick zoom across this map though, because this cap, obviously it went towards the Axis, so they're going to be attacking in towards WN73. Another difficult point to try and take. Certainly not one I enjoy attacking. But we see here WTH squad led by Chicken and Waffles, recently joined from TL, making their way down through this sector here. They're going to be coming up against a DC recon squad. I think that's Quicknicks with the Goth Slashes and the DC tag. But they are going to be countered here. STDB Goof is starting to move his way forward to come up and counter-attack against this squad around here. We've even got NZN up here now, being led by Noah, alongside the WTH squad. So really nice spread here from this allied team. We see over here the Hell Let Loose Poland and DC guys. They got their MGs all the way up on top of the bunker here. And this is going to be a bit of a shooting gallery for them. And so the Axis do have to be careful, but they are pretty exposed, so it should be fairly comfortable when trying to take them down. Drackle here's got himself pretty well far up. It's a shame he's an MG though, because he's not the kind of guy you need here. He's using the BAR, I suppose, so he does at least have a little bit of maneuverability. But generally though, he's not going to be doing too much damage from where he is. We can hear that artillery dropping from the Axis as well, just onto this little staggered crossroad section here by the 501 ES guys, along with WG. It's the second WG player I've seen in recent days. I don't know who WG are, but that is interesting, the fact that we've got maybe a new little community arising somewhere. But SCDB here, these are the guys to watch right now. They're starting to just run through these players here. But Void Overblast is going to be making his way forward to try and counter-attack on this one. Hopefully, he'll be able to stop anyone getting through this road. Captain Calfee there, starting to shoot across the way. He's up against S-Tech. I didn't know S-Tech could shoot regular guns. I thought he was only an MG player. He gets taken out by Calfee. Gang is still here though. Thorpe's flipped over as well. Overblast's about to come up to him, but he gets taken down by Thorpe. Quick shoot in there as he peeks that corner. But they're going to have to do something about this, because if these guys can just make their way through this zone here, we can see the marks going up. But what we're going to see here is that if these guys can really make their way spreading out like this, they're gonna be able to just stop a lot of these attacks. You saw a little bit of contest there on the point though, just thanks to this sort of sector presence that the Allies have, but it's nothing to worry about yet. The main threat that they need to be worrying about is stopping the stem of players coming up to attack them out of particularly this southern zone, and then potentially making their way all the way around at the point, see if they can just get a little bit of extra additional pressure on them. They'll certainly be able to get a new garrison up within this compound as well, and that will just give them something slightly closer, and I suspect they'll probably try and walk it around as well into this section here. and then we may potentially see one of the crews come into this northern side here. And potentially get themselves up a little garrison up here. And that, that looks particularly strong when you're trying to attack. You can go from lots of different angles there. But the problem with getting that sort of width is you've got no guarantee that you'll even be able to break through with just sort of so few numbers coming in from each angle. Over towards WN73, we see 501ES have retreated back because SCDB's Roy Nelson has started to push his way forward. But we are seeing cap pressure now on Vierville-sur-Mer. I don't... Like, it's been immediately defended thanks to guys spawning back at this garrison here. I didn't think it was anything to particularly worry about. It's just all sector cap presence, really. But these guys here have absolutely wiped out the SCDB squad really, really nicely. And this is key here. If they can make their way through, if they can just get a couple more trades, they're going to be really well progressed up in towards the point. And if that artillery now, let's check this mark out, see how close it is to the garrison. Oh, it's right on top of it. That is pretty much exact. That could be dangerous. Now, they are lucky with that garrison placement. They can survive some bits of artillery dropping there. However, the majority of it, you suspect, is probably going to get kills. It's actually just been slightly moved off of the garrison, which is a real shame for the artillery player. However, where his mark was, I suppose, he's going to be hitting the top of that church a lot. Meaning he's not going to get too many kills there. That's probably a better option in terms of just being able to shut off the flow of infantry towards them. We are seeing cap pressure on it at both points now. WN71, or 73, sorry, is being capped. We do have Darth here, who's on defense. STDB's Roy Nelson is starting to get himself into the cap sector, though, and his players spawning down the hill. Bombing run comes in. That's going to be an allied bombing run across the point. That's going to take down the garrison there. We'll see, though, because Roy Nelson's picked up his first kill within this point on the squad leader. Wilfred here needs to try and get rid of him because they're in a little bit of trouble. Let's check the map, see what's going on over here. There's only the garrison, no outposts at all. Darth got his outpost wiped, I think, by Roy Nelson. So they are going to have to stop this stem of this flow of players, because it's looking a little bit dicey out here for them, to be honest with you. And if you get pushed all the way back to this fourth point, there really is very little that you can do to stop them at that stage when you push back down onto the beach. They've dropped a reinforce. It's still not being defended. An Axis bombing run is dropping. Oh, sorry, an Axis airhead is dropping now just down this hill as well. So they're going to be able to put more players into this defense. We'll see, though. There is a satchel player there right next to this truck. I really hope you've satcheled this truck, please. We'll see what sort of spawn wave we get down here, though. That's a well-marked airhead. This point is still being capped. Players are not dropping off the offensive here. Oh, big spawn wave does come in, though. It might be too little too late, though. Satchel goes off onto that truck. And the airhead does survive it. Which is pretty lucky for them. Doesn't seem to be killed by friendly satchels, but I can't say for sure whether it is or isn't. So this point has been capped. There's no one in it, though, for the Axis. And so, with this wave of players coming through now, we are seeing it being capped back immediately by the Allies, but this is going to put them massively onto the back foot, having to retreat all this way back. Trying to take through this bunker as well is pretty easy to defend. Medicine Crow, though, comes out and gets taken out just outside the bunker. That gives the spawn wave, or the strong point controller. Spawn wave comes in here. It seems like there was a bit of a shot there. The recon tank takes down the airhead. Nice play from this recon tank to read this one. That'll be Flo from 501ES. Does take down one of the squad leaders that spawned in, but Hellbro is still alive in here. Seems like one of the outposts got wiped just by Captain Calfee. Ninja Pulver still playing the commander, but he gets absolutely obliterated by the recon tank. That seems wholly unnecessary, if you ask me. Calfee trying to get the satchel on here, gets run over. No, we got Quits on top of the tank trying to get the satchel on. Flo hops out, gets the kill though, and then Flo goes down. Recon tank lives to see another day, but he has been satcheled. He does go down. Might even been on a mine actually, and so. But he's done enough damage there, taking out Commander and the airhead there. So strong point control totally in the favour of the Allies for now. We'll take a quick look at the map. Have they left themselves room to progress onto Sumer on the recap? Not quite yet. They are dropping supplies back here. Potentially that'll go unnoticed and Doc can get in with a garrison for a quick move. Hearing talks of a Panther near the 76, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even see a 76 on the map. So they've probably been taken down. Let me flick my highlights on though, because I might be able to spot the Panther a little bit easier that way with a big red box on it. Not seeing anything just yet though. Tank mark goes out, there we go. So Panther here looking to move up to support his infantry. Shots going out across, so this is 501ES, Pito, Sultan and Lomas. They're driving that tank. Those supplies are now landing. I want to just go check. Have they been read? They have been noticed. Breakpoint from DC and Free Party from Hellus Italia seems to have clocked those supplies dropping. And immediately more cap pressure comes in. We're seeing an ammo drop here, which is a little bit interesting. I don't quite know why we're dropping ammo here, but it is what it is, right? And cap pressure coming in, and I don't know how they're capping this point. I mean, understand not all of these players are within this circle, so they don't have massive cap pressure here being generated within the strong point. But surely they've got enough bodies within the sector to defend that cap brace. Maybe not, maybe they don't. This cap sector is particularly big here. Let's just ping the edge of this. It goes all the way up to my ping there, and so anyone sort of to the right of that is within the cap sector, and we can see as we move forward, as I get within that 500 meter range, just how many players are starting to stream down this side. I mean, I don't know about running in a straight line together. I'd probably just want one squad out this way. Could just leave that to Confit or Hellbro, and the other one can give themselves a little bit of width here. They are going to have to try and push across these open fields, though. They are relatively easy to defend. Artillery mark goes down onto that tank there. Not going to do too much damage, I wouldn't have thought. Chicken and Waffles is in a nice spot here if he can get his players up to just push past him. Coming up against Overblast here. He misses a couple shots once more. Oh, and then they trade. Oh, lovely. Always love a good trade. So they trade against each other. But Chicken and Waffles will have bought just enough time there, I think, for his infantry to get into position to defend this wheat field. There's plenty of players start streaming towards it from the Allies. Got a little bit of a gaggle over here from STDB and Goff. Not Goff, sorry, DC, with Roy Nelson here as squad leader, looking to try and give them a little bit of width on the point. If they can come take this hill here, that'll be vital to capping WN73. It's now just being contested. A little bit of defense here. Let's take a look at our map though, so we can see what we're talking about here. What I really want to see is we're going to be having infantry here just up on this line, unable to particularly progress too much further forward due to the fact they've just got open fields just to the right of them, or just to the right of us here. So instead, I'd like to see a little bit more of a pressure here onto these two outposts and garrison, so that they can get really nice firing lines across the hill and into WN73. And what that does, if you're able to just capture this hill here, you can pretty much control all of this, largely up to the bunker, and that's so much of the cap sector. And as they already control all of this, you can see just by capturing this one hill how much extra terrain they can control. I mean, in fact, they could control these open fields as well up to that stage, and that just leaves just a tiny section of the map there for the opposition to defend. And so, you know, if they can get some infantry here, just sort of into this zone here, and into this zone here. And then they really try and pressure their way forward onto this hill. They'll be pretty successful in taking this point, I would have thought. Tank moving up now. I'm not too keen on the position he's taken, because he is marked anyway, so it's not like he's well hidden. But while he can drive through the trees, I just feel like he's given infantry a little bit too much opportunity to get up and involved with him. He's pushed himself a little bit further forward from his own infantry, and so potentially they'll be able to push past him now. Do you just see a little explosion here? Let's go check this out, see what it was. Looks like that was just a little recon tank. That was just a little Puma tank. So we've seen both recon tanks go down now. A little bit of a cap brace going on. I must say, though, I don't see them losing WN73 from this position. Let's go check out Villeville-sur-Mer, though, and just see how much defense they've got over on this side. We see Winston starting to get involved now. We've got Gintonia on the wide flank there, and way out of the way of any sort of cap pressure coming in from the network up there, or the battery, sorry. So, decent little spawn wave comes in, though, to ensure the defense. They don't have any sort of map control, really. I don't think Winston's squad... Now, I know the DC guys are very good, and they are good players. They can shoot very well. I don't see them particularly being able to cap the point with just by themselves, though. He's going to spot this garrison, maybe. No, I don't think he does. He doesn't turn into it. So, he misses the location of that garrison. It is a relatively easy rocket hit from that wall. Winston taking shots there. Takes down Marty. That's going to give himself away, though. So he's going to start making his way around the point. As we see a big explosion over here. Let's go check this one out. See what this was. Potentially this was... oh, it's just a little Stuart boy. Just a little Stuart tank gets taken down. Panther tank here has been damaged. However, inside this point, I think he's had a bit of a scrap there. Potentially with a medium Sherman. There is an AT gun maybe being built as well by Burzum. But I don't think he's got the supplies for it, so he's going to have to wait until he can get that up, and then that tank will be pretty exposed. You can see it's just peeking through that tree line there, with the potential to hit that. Don't see anything happening on this northern side, though. Doug and Selu should be able to hold this down. Peculiar Fridge as well, controlling this open field. I don't see this being a fruitful push for the Allies. For the Axis, sorry. Panther tank's still slowly backing itself up, though. Ah, it wasn't Quicknix for the DC guys. Quicknix is here. Don't know who the other guy is. Maybe it's... might be Wakanda. I think he's playing Recon, maybe. But more cap pressure again, coming in. It's just all sector cap, though. I'm not too worried about this in terms of it being capped again on this go-round. But I don't see how this Allied team are going to be able to break out from this zone here. Because they are just being squeezed so far up into the point at this stage that... realistically, they are going to struggle getting out of it. If they're being capped sector-wise, then they're really going to struggle if they have to drop any of those players out and get them onto the offensive. We'll go check back over at Villeville-sur-Mer and just see if Winston managed to stay alive and around the point. I don't think he did. Still seeing, no, he didn't. DC guys coming through. Overblast there, a part of the DC squad. Breakpoint sneaking his way through. Getting a different sort of angle here. Taking down Overblaze there. With a nice shot. Winston seems to maybe know what's going on. He's going to pop around this corner. Little 1v1 and he wins that one nicely. Current target's pretty quick. That's going to make him feel a little bit suspect, though, with Breakpoint coming from a different angle. Been plenty of complaints about non-marked tanks. I mean, this Panther's been pretty well marked for a good little while now. We'll check the map. We'll see. It seems like we've got 176 coming up here from the top HQ. We do have the Recon squad getting themselves around the back as well. They look like they're a little bit stuck at the moment. However, they might be able to get around and they might be able to get that garrison built up in E7. But again here, you know, they're defending okay in terms of that they've still got control of this hill here. They do have control of actually most of this road, really. If they could just squeeze between these 2 points, I think that'll be quite nice, and a good day's work for them. What they'll then be able to do is hopefully just, you know, run a squad north, clear up the rest of WN73, and then really start sort of putting some pressure into Vierville-sur-Mer from a couple of different angles. And particularly if this one comes in, they'll be able to get pressure from the rear side as well. And that's when Vierville-sur-Mer becomes difficult to defend. Because if you're only coming in from one side, artillery can make light work of it, particularly when it's artillery that you just cannot kill. Once more, check on that Panther tank. Looks like they're heading south. Maybe they're going to go for the road approach. I'm not too sure. However, this Panther tank is making its way to this northern side, potentially feeling like they could break through here. There's just a little bit of armor presence. These guys are not going to be moving too much, though. In fact, we can watch this NZN squad and just say, look how many people just sat up in these bushes. You got 3 bushwickies already. The trees are shooting. They're not pushing, they're not moving, they can't really get anywhere. There's not really... I mean, you're just sat in a bush, quite literally. Just... You know, at some point that bush isn't going to render and you're just going to be taken out, I would imagine. Surely. Down here, though, we see Medicine Crow's got himself in a good position, actually. Don't know how he's managed to get all the way through that line. Both snipers here, just within the orchards area of WN73. If they can get a squad leader up into this village, they'll be able to pressure quite nicely. Over towards Vierville-sur-Mer, though, we actually do see quite nicely here STDB defending from the front. Dreyski's in a good MG spot as well. So there's DC squads within this zone alongside the STDB guys. That's really going to stop any sort of frontal assault coming in. They have total control over this town, really. We do know that Winston is in and around this zone, but Hellbro is sneaking back through, and we'll check. His outpost is still alive just at the end of this, but it is pretty well sandwiched here. So we'll see whether that stays alive. Hellbro might even actually be looking at that. I think he is. He takes down one. Oh, and then he has a couple of squad mates spawn in front of him. Winston just taking shots. Don't know how he didn't die earlier than that. Free party buddy, just pull the rocket out, grab the outpost, just grab it anyway, that's fine. We even see over here, these guys defending so well, they spotted these supplies being dropped out this way. Duck's gonna get his outpost up, maybe, hopefully, but he's not gonna get the garrison up. He goes down. He's been given away already. Scar here, just left on his own now. Real unfortunate for Doc there. Going over to those drop supplies. Not particularly able to do too much with them, unfortunately. Now, they have left the strong point at this stage. They have dropped a lot of players out of it. And in fact, 501ES now able to start pushing through. Does get taken out by enemy artillery. This Panther tank is all the way forward. He could demolish a couple of spawns here if they're not careful. He's pretty impenetrable. We do have some tanks shelling in, though. And this 76 starting to make its way up. We'll see whether it goes up this hill. Do we have a mark on the tank? It is there pretty much. You know, they are going to know roughly where it is. We'll see whether they know this 76 is coming towards them. They have just turned towards it. So potentially they do have a decent idea of what's coming their way. Rockets going in, splashing off the side of that Panther tank. Digi, you're just not going to kill it from that angle, buddy. It just is not going to happen. You can't kill it from the sides or the front. 76 making that very, very slow climb up. He's going to be going about 4 miles an hour there. Not going to be good. Panther tank actually moving forward here. Seems like he feels pretty comfortable with his choice being sitting inside this point. Does he see the tank, though? That's the real question. Doesn't see it just yet. 76 peeks over the hill. Is the commander paying attention? Is the tank commander spotted us? He does. They whiff the first shot. In fact, actually, both tanks whiff their first shot. Now, the Panther tank's going to win this head-on engagement, you might have thought. Ricochet, oh, it hits the turret. No, Panthers, chill. Don't move. Why have you moved? Drake driver there, ruining it, but they can't see anything. Ricochet's off and then gets the kill through the smoke. 76 goes down. That's why you just don't go and engage the Panther head-on. Absolutely pointless from them. Now, there's no complaints about that tank not being marked because they certainly knew it was there. That Panther tank is just too strong to engage head-on. 76s need to be a little bit cleverer than that and just try and get the drop on them, maybe. Double Panther getting towards this point at this stage. It does not look good for the Allies as they are defending, and they do still control this hill. Let's just see a little bit more pressure come in here, I think, from the Axis. Let's just see them moving to go take control of this zone. Let's see them come a little bit wider, though. We do have 2 squad leaders down here, so we've got Drackle and Offline, who are incredibly wide on this point, looking to try and get forward towards Vierville-sur-Mer. Unfortunately, though, they are struggling. Now, I can see my stream has actually just gone live for me, which is great. That means I can hide the player. Because I know that's worked. That's all good. But they are, and they did actually lose the cap. I didn't even spot that there. Onto WN73. It's being recapped now, and the tanks there doing all of the work to ensure that cap coming in. They've got the garrison built quite far forward as well at this stage now. Able to spawn some players in. The problem is that it's still an open field. It's been defended by the tank quite nicely, and there's artillery dropping pretty close. That tank unable to rep itself due to the artillery, though. So they're going to need the other 76 to take that frontal assault pressure now. And maybe even just push through and into it. But the Allies, they're going to recap once more. Just due to the fact that it's been sector capped really by the Axis. They're getting more players forward. It's just due to the fact that it's been bigger swarm waves coming back in. Bombing run comes in here. There must be an Axis bombing run across the point. Doesn't kill anyone, though. Takes out some supplies, I think. I don't think there was anything else to kill within there. Not going to take out any outposts, that's for sure. We actually see Patson has come in as an engineer. Just spotted that a minute ago. And Flo is now playing as commander. There was no fixed commanders being set at the start of this game. And so we are going to see players flip-flop through that role, I would suspect, as and when things kind of come off cooldown. See that quite a lot in events such as squadline battles, and in fact, actually, historically within squadline battles, the team without the dedicated commander often does a whole lot better than the team with the dedicated commander. Let's run the predictions within the chat right now, though, and just see what people think. Let's start a prediction. Let's run that for 10 minutes. There we go. All set up and ready to go. Seeing cap pressure on both points here. We are just 35 minutes into this game. Well, the strong point control at WN73 is never been given up by the Allies. They still have total control over it. But we see down here, just a couple of players, DC in fact, have got themselves into the point pretty nicely here. And straight into the strong point, providing that cap pressure. And up the hill, there is some infantry from the Axis, and they're going to cause some real damage here up against the Hell Let Loose Poland squad from Offline. And in fact, Quicknix has got himself right within the HQ, going to lock down those tanks for now. Got Hellbro in his squad here, looking to try and take control of this hill. Be interesting to see what they go for here. Obviously, with both points just about being capped and defended, maybe. I think that both points are just being defended here. For me, I think Hellbro is making the right decision here, alongside Luapet there, to come just take control of this hill now. A lot of these players are going to be panicking, and they're going to be thinking, well, I've got to start getting back towards the draw here. We can see this sort of mass exodus of players coming through. But this is now just given total control over this hill here to the Axis, and we've seen how they've been playing throughout this game. Giving that up to them is going to be horrible for the Allies to try and retake, as they're going to have the height advantage. So total control, loads of players within this strong point, most of them surviving pretty well as well, actually. Tanks unable to kill you if you're behind this this bunker here, or even inside of it. But, as we said though, they just have no map control. They're unable to progress any further forward. Can't get out of that bunker due to the artillery and tanks. And certainly trying to get across these open fields is a little bit of a no-no as well. Rav here, I mean, he's looking pretty stuck, isn't he? Let's be honest. He is alive, but I don't think he's going to be moving too far. I might pick off one player at most. Complete domination here, though, from this Axis team. Let's just double check. The Allies even have 2 more players than the Axis. Obviously, I don't count. Making up that 50-man 50th player. I don't count for any cap pressure here. Just being the caster in the sky. Chicken and Waffles has made a nice move though, to really come and solidify themselves onto this point. If they can come and actually take control of this strong point for the first time in this game, that's going to allow them to divert a lot of players towards the draw, which is being defended. They do have defense on it, but we see Hellbro here up on this hill. If he can just break through and get to the cliffside, that's going to be game over, I think. Chicken and Waffles does go down along with his infantry. This garrison here is interesting because it doesn't give you too many options to actually be able to get out. I presume this is just within the blue. It is, yeah, just at I3. But I suppose you can't put it any further up the hill in the blue, just because it'll get taken down by tanks. Artillery there is just devastating, dropping into the point. This infantry now really is progressed far up, and as soon as they start pushing that bunker, it's going to be particularly difficult for the Axis to defend this one. Oh, 2 players get run over. They can't get through the barbed wire, so Chris just backs back up to them. Runs them over. Probably does them actually a bit of a favour. They were in a little bit of no man's land there. This tank here has got himself totally exposed though. Pito here, after a good start, puts himself with his rear to all of the enemy infantry. It'd be totally safe for facing the other direction. FLK pops back up with the second rocket maybe. But absolutely not going to be dying this time. This tank here pushing himself all the way through. Krish really getting aggressive here. Going to go all the way to the cliff edge, actually. Rocket goes in on that tank there. One rocket not going to be enough to engine it, though, so they're going to keep driving around. See if they can get the shell inside the door on this one. Don't know if they're going to go for it or not, and that would be pretty devastating with the outposts within here getting taken down. I think there's only just the one outpost in here for now, though. So even this strong point control will slowly get taken over by the WTH and the NZN squads. Darthit still alive. Plenty of SCDV players getting taken down by a marauding Krish here. Got the supplies placed. Not going to be too useful though. Can't build anything on it if you're all getting battered by a tank. Outposts getting taken down. And players starting to stream forward. Chicken and Waffles going straight for the jugular here as he makes his way round. He does trade with 2 though. But crucially he might have spotted that garrison. So that garrison might now be compromised at this stage. Pito hops out. We'll see what he's going to go for. Is he actually going to go for the bunker clear, maybe? He gets taken out pretty quickly by Darth, though. So it seems a little bit of a waste for me. 2 crewmen within the tank still alive, though. Just put 1 shell within the bunker, guys. Just put 1 shell in there. That's all you really need. And it would clear out the outpost, and that'd be pretty much game. Over on the crucial hill, though, regardless of which of these 2 points is see most of the action, the crucial hill, total control of the Axis here. See, Void Overblade is trying to make his way up the cliff top here, but he gets taken down by Hellbro. Little headshot. Sanitata here and his squad looking to make their way through and get into village. They are going to need to try and expand around them just to try and squeeze off this infantry. Strong point control pretty firmly back in the hands of the Allies here, despite not actually owning this point. Quicknix has managed to get himself all the way through, though, and I think has he taken the garrison down? I think he has, in fact. So there's no garrison in the north here anymore. That's going to need to be rebuilt. Item squad does have supplies, but they're in the red, so it's not going to be particularly useful here. So good job from Quicknix being able to take that one down. He's going to get squeezed out by Darth here. You might expect him Wilfred, as Wilfred charges him. Quicknix got his headphones on, though, and here's Wilfred running at him. Does he hear Senior Punk? Doesn't seem like he does. That's really going to stop a lot of these players being able to respawn. As soon as those outposts go down, a lot of these players are going to be out of the way. Goof is still alive, though. He's still up. He could drop himself back potentially across that open field if he can get some supplies into the blue. While we're here, though, let's take a look at the stats, because I do have stats available as we're starting to hit the halfway mark. I would imagine we're going to see pretty high scores coming in for the Axis here, as the Allies are starting to slowly just get turned over and over. So here we go, got some stats on the go. So Peculiar Fridge there, top frags at 55 with the Browning. So not an Axis player at the top of the kill chart. Sultan there with the Panther, doing a great job. Chicken and Waffles squad leading for WTH, grabbing 42, and then Draysky here with 43 on the MG42, and Billy rounds up the top 5 with the FG42 Sniper. Thorpe comes in at 6, Flo on the artillery comes in at number 7, NZN Rav, Skyper and Ryber there round out the top 10. Lots of kills, though. There's so many kills in this stat. Actually, we've got loads of players above 1.0 kills per minute, which is great. You know, all of the top 10 above 0.9, as we see Lurpet there just creep into the top 10. These players are trading so quickly here, that it's quite nice to see. In terms of deaths, we do have Goof here with Vitamilch and Overblast, and then Estec. I think all of these guys are Allies players, in fact, actually, as I just click through them here. I think they're all on the Allies team. We have to come down to number 4 there. He's just overtaken Estec, or is actually even with Estec, to come to the first Axis player. And then King Josh in at number 6 also is an Allies player. Banana Nana, Allies player. Blimey. You can see across the board generally there's a lot of Allied deaths here, as they actually have 8 out of the top 10 amounts of deaths. So I think what I was generally saying about them being outfragged is largely generally true. They might not have all of the top kills. We see actually Precision Strike there comes down onto a dead Panther, which I think must have been killed. I didn't see it. Killed by Clover, Oxdown and KG there. In the WTH Allied tank squad. This point is currently being capped here by the Allies, but again, you know, map control is all important. A crest, where is that rocket going? I don't even know who shot that rocket, but it was absolutely flying off. Bombering run comes in here for the Axis, as I quickly check the map to make sure. Tank does get damage on its tracks, but it is gonna survive okay for now. Just need to get one AT guy behind it, though, and that tank will be in a world of trouble. Flick there, starting to defend it, though. He's going to catch Gin Tony in the open field. He then gets out-traded, though, and taken down. So it's being now defended here quite well. Chicken and Waffles inside the bunker does win that trade up against Kamikaze. Artillery Muck comes out from the Allies. However, not going to be doing too much there. Looks like the AT gun just got taken down. Potentially a tank coming through from the Axis. Don't see any tanks just for now. Ah, here we go. Double Panther push. Love to see it. So we've got Pito here coming through from 501ES, and then we've got Krish again. So those are the two main tank rigs that we're seeing coming out from the Axis here. Did just hear a little rocket fly. That would be Digi here. Don't know how Digi's got himself into this zone. How he's got himself here, I will never know. He must have come off of this Able outpost. But good rocket across actually takes down the German garrison here. From the Axis, just behind these double tanks, but even a T-gun as well set up against this 76 just in our distance here. We'll see he is quite damaged here. We'll see whether this Panther tank pushes him, which Panther tank pushes him maybe. But even that AT gun potentially going to be getting in on the action. Panther does ricochet off the 76. AT gun goes down, shot from the Panther. Hits the barbed wire though, and then the second Panther there gets the kill, so the kill credit goes to Krish. Total control of the strong point now in the favour of the Axis, and I think it's only a matter of time before they kept the draw. They have lost a lot of this hill presence here. DC have done well to recapture this zone and get themselves back up onto the hill with the help of 501ES. And the other DC squad in the form of Soldad. So they are managing to capture this hill back just about. Do you see Ox down there complaining about his team in the chat? I'm going to be honest though, buddy, your tank was sat in an open field. You know, that's not going to go too well. It doesn't even matter whether you're playing a pub game or a competitive game or a mixed clan event. You know, if you're sat in an open field, your game's just not going to go very, very well. Panther there gets a road kill, runs over one of the players. And he's got nice and aggressive here. Goof is still alive. He's got to be taken out here by the Panther. Surely they've spotted him. Goof just staring down. He goes to make the run. It doesn't work. Gets shot eventually. Chinturny didn't seem D in a similar position here, but he's going to get away with this, I think, maybe. But just laying down here. You see, Free Party from Hellas Italia has got himself into the point now. We do see some cap pressure come in over by the draw, though, as STDB get themselves pretty close to the point there. Obviously, there's a lot of cap sector to sit in terms of the beach, and not a lot to sit in coming down this hill. But you can certainly survive for a lot of this on this hill. We see here they're slowly taking control of this hill now, but the problem that they're facing is, look at how many different angles they're trying to attack from, trying to get sort of any presence coming from any sort of side, and that's just due to the fact that with this being the beach, you really just can't push up it in a neat cohesive line. There's no way to make that push on this map. You do have to come at it from a couple of different angles. You know, the road in the north and the main MSR, I could just highlight here, this main red road here, and splitting it with the valley does make it particularly difficult to try and push cohesively. It's just due to the fact that you know, if you don't control either side of that road, and you're only pushing through that valley, you will just get bad from that hill from both sides with relative ease. We are now seeing a little bit more cap pressure come in as SDDB have managed to find themselves within the point. They take down Dracul there. His outpost is likely going to be found by Medicine Crow. Darth here gets taken down as well. I don't see an outpost by him. Satchel goes off. It doesn't get the outpost though. They just need to get and push towards Dracul here. Will Medicine Crow actually spot this? I don't know. Will Baraka spot this maybe if he turns? Got to be careful though, because there could be a big spawn wave coming on that outpost. Could have all 6 players come in at once. We'll see though. Let's check the map very quickly. There is no garrison down here. The garrison is just in this north side here, where we've seen Darth and AGS here alongside Soldad spawn in. Dracul's the only one on that outpost though. No, that's poor. Needed more than that to spawn in, unfortunately. But they are now just about starting to defend this, thanks to the sector pressure of those guys in the center of your screen. But with those guys up on top of the hill, they're not going to last too much longer. It's going to be relatively easy for them to push down and start getting those kills and those trades. 2 players in the point providing nice cap pressure at the same time as well. If they can get rid of Dracul, they'll certainly be overwhelming them on cap pressure. Rocket comes in from Digi, trying to take down Kalfi and Baraka. Nothing doing just yet, though. That rocket flies way over the top as well. Chicken and Waffles starting to just farm onto that garrison, I think. Taking down Goof, trying to take down Sherp as well. But Chicken and Waffles goes down. Just an outpost at the bottom of this hill now. Ludiga there, trying to pop around the corner, just fire the rocket. Gets the rocket in, takes the outpost down very, very nice. Luapet peeks around the corner. Not looking at Kamikaze though. Kamikaze surely going to get the kill here. He's going to spot him, is he? He is, yeah. Kamikaze finally spots him. He's going to have to back off though. Oh, he starts chasing Lazy Pablo. Chase him. Oh, I thought we were going to see a knife, but he does get the kill after the reload. Now STDB start to make that break towards Soldad there. Red even hops down the hill, makes a nice trade, takes down 2 in fact as he hops off that hill and an outpost. These guys are really starting to turn the screw here. Baraka now really starting to push. They've got smokes out on both of these outposts, but with the infantry pushing through here, it's not going to stop those outposts going down at this stage. One goes down to a rocket from Ludiga, one goes down from Baraka, proxy in it. And they really are just pushing through here, making really good progress. Kalfi goes down, Baraka gets a couple of kills. Soldad goes down. It's just Kamikaze left to defend this outpost for now. If Ludiga had that rocket, he's certainly within range to take care of that. That's seeing a little bit of cap pressure coming in towards WN73 low. Let's just zoom out and go check this out and see what's going on. It seems like the pressure from all sides is really starting to pay now. Got an explosion here. Let's see what this was. Just went down. Looks like maybe that was one of the Panther tanks goes down. Flick here, right next to Krish. Right next to him. Is Krish going to turn around? He does spot him. He does get around that Panther. Takes down Flick. Defense comes in though. Soldad spawns all the way back. 501 ES. Sorry, Arrogant defense, but there's more pressure coming in from the allies here. In the form of Soldad and 501 ES there. From Darth. We've got the NZN squad here still hanging out, still defending just about. Roy Nelson as well, looking to come defend this. Let's head back over towards this garrison. Seems like it might still be up here as AGS does spawn in. But with the smoke being pushed onto that now, you do expect maybe Rav to go push this and eventually take it down. Got Dracul versus Luapet there in a little 1v1. Luapet comes off worse. And we're still seeing cap pressure now in favour of the allies, as they do have control of the strong point here. And they are going to start capping this one back. They could totally salvage this with 35 minutes to go. Just being at 3-2 down is not too bad. We'll see though, Soldad getting quite aggressive there. Webernecht is going to go challenge him though, I think, as he looks to go take control of this house. Maybe they're just going to pass each other, I think. Surely he knows Webernecht is there. Could not be closer. Distant spawn wave comes in from NTN there on that garrison. We even see a rep station there at the same time as well. NTN, they should be able to go and squeeze this. We see Goof leaving the strong point a little bit now, as Roy Nelson comes back in as well. The Soldad's still alive. Not going to be able to put his outpost down though, thanks to the fact that Webernecht is right in there. Kind of interesting to see how long they'll just sit next to each other, to be honest with you. It's pretty peaceful for those two. Nice easy game for them. Don't need to shoot anyone. Goof moving back into the strong point. He's got to win a couple of trades, but he's facing the wrong way. Gets headshotted there by Noah, and the defense starts coming in here. Do have Kamikaze making his way up this hill now, alongside Sanitator in the northern side. A little tank mark goes out as well. Let's check this out. That's the Panther there, I think, of Pito, Lomas and Sultan. They've switched roles. Sultan being the gunner earlier. He's now driving the tank. They got themselves wedged in here. They should be able to defend this passage pretty easily with the tank, one might have thought, if they can just get their angles right. They might be a little bit suspect to Satchel if smoke grenades do come in, though. Down at the draw, it is being well defended now. Let's take a look at the map. The garrison situation is pretty dire, though, isn't it? Let's be honest here. Just the one garrison here for the Allies, swarming everyone into the north. A quick counterattack in from the Axis could finish this game off at any moment. But the Axis really just sort of sitting, able to almost just play this one on the edge there, really, of cap pressure. See, the recon plane comes in. Don't have too much pressure around that point, and certainly not too much down south either, which is interesting. Because if you got that recon plane, you'd be wondering where most of their players are, actually. Why there's not too many players able to be spotted, because certainly over by this hill there is very little out here. They certainly aren't going to want to give this hill up. They are going to need to commit a little bit more to it. But here we go. We see Soldad's made a good run in behind. Overblast is starting to come from the different side now. They spotted the garrison. Soldad and Overblast are going to make a little bit of a dash for it across the open field. They spotted the Panther as well. The Panther spotted them, I think. They're going to get taken down. Overblast gets taken out by the tank. They are going to know that Soldad is there as well. Soldad might just need to sneak his way around this bush line. Don't think he's going to manage it, though. He does get taken down, but the garrison is definitely known here. Should be a relatively easy rocket for anyone with that Panzerschreck to take this one down. We're still seeing NZN players spawn down here. And this seems to be like the majority of those defensive players are starting to spawn within that zone. Down here in the hillside. We must have a garrison down here somewhere as well. Though I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh, interestingly, we have do have the two MG gunners set up on top of the boats here. You know, the view's not great, is it? Let's be honest. You can see people, you know, he is getting kills from up here. But it's pretty limited in scope, isn't it? In terms of what you are going to hit. You know, if you're shooting people back there, you know, within that town that are coming out, you've probably been pushed back a little bit too far already. Bomber run comes in. Let's check maps. That's going to come in on top of that garrison. Going to take that one down again. I feel like that's a bit of a waste. Overblast had just come in with the rockets. He would have been able to clear that one up. No worries. Would have been fairly easy rocket for him. But for now, they've taken care of that garrison. The Stuart is a little bit damaged, and he is facing up against the Panther. You might expect, though, Quicknix does go down, as does Billy, getting taken down by someone on range. Not sure who that was. They'll get a mark on that Stuart pretty quick, though. But the cap progress here looking pretty good now for the Allies. They are starting to get numbers forward as well. FLK there is pretty far progressed up against Medicine Crow and now Hellbro. We'll see. Does he look the other way? Oh, he just gets taken down there. I think that'll be Jackie or Cynic or Rav taking him down as he peeks around that corner. So that's nice awareness from those players. Offline and the Hell's Poland crew have got control over the hill now. If they can get themselves an MG set up here, that's certainly going to help them defend. There's no doubt about that one. However, trying to get out of this little section now is a little bit tricky. Offline deciding to take the probably slightly more concealed route down the hillside there, as opposed to popping out across the top of it. KG just wrapping up the tank. Problem with this tank is you're so exposed to one satchel nearby. You're a relatively easy satchel. They don't have a satchel class here, though, unfortunately. But certainly it wouldn't be a particularly difficult kill for one, if there was one here. MG starting to just shoot the tank for some reason. Baraka pops over the top and takes down KG there. rocket from Black there does just ricochet off the side of the 76. Surely you got to do better than that, buddy. You got to get more than, got to get to be able to pen that. He goes around to the rear, gets one shot into the back of it. He's now going to need to redeploy for more rockets. As the other AT guy does go down, unfortunately. We'll see now. Seems like maybe that even hit an AT mine as well. Rocket goes over the top. A little bit of a miss. Captain Calfee misses as well. Breakpoint chucking those rockets at range. They are just about defending this though. They've cleared out the circle quite nicely despite not having anyone really particularly in there. So that bought them just a little bit more time to be able to defend this. We'll see with the Panther coming in, if they can just go sit themselves on the edge of the circle. You know, they've only really got to get up to the edge of this circle just here on my ping, and they'll be counting for 3 times more, and that's got to be worth it for them, as they know they've got a mark on that tank surely down the hill, so they know there's not too much of a threat from tanks to them up here. And you know, if you're going to sit in an open field, you might as well count for 3 times more. And being sat within the circle, you're not at risk to any infantry. That's for certain. Now, what we've seen here is, thanks to the fact that they have flipped their presence over towards the draw, they are starting to contest it now. They're starting to lose again at WN73. They do need to put that Panther tank in the point at some stage. This 76 does go down eventually to AET, and the second Panther tank starts to make its way forward. Panther turns its back though. I don't know what you're doing. What are you playing at, Krish? Just go put your tank on the edge of that circle, man. It shouldn't be too difficult. You shouldn't have allowed anyone to cross this open field back into the ruined house, in my opinion. Does get one more shot into that. Takes down a couple of players. Tank situation is just domination here for the Axis. They're playing really, really well, these tank crews, but just need them to go sit, 20 meters further forward, just to count for that a little bit more, and that cap pressure will be super safe at that stage. But Allies have done well to recap as much as they have, and actually start getting a little bit more sector control at the same time to be able to do this from. They've not given up here. They do need to be careful though, because they are starting to lose the cap on WN73, and they're starting to lose the cap at the draw as well. So if they're not careful, this could turn pretty quick here. We'll see if Ninja Pulver holds his nerve here. They are defending. It is starting to go towards halfway in terms of defense, but we are seeing the draw now starting to fall. About 30 seconds into that cap at this stage. Every second ticks them closer together, and I suspect once we see them tick across one another, we'll see a few more players committing towards the draw. Hopefully they'll have that garrison primed and ready on the border, because they certainly have total control over this hillside. And in fact, everyone will be spawning up north, I would imagine. Let's check the map. I've got players all over the map here. Baker Squad in the middle of nowhere. We've got one offline here at the southern HQ, unable to spawn anywhere else. Got infantry at the top here, and this is being capped here by the draw. At this stage, chuck some infantry into option outpost, kind of like Patson's done here, spawned in on the outpost. A couple more players spawn in. Oh, Patson takes... Oh, okay. Patson team kills and... Okay, well, I don't know about that one. Not too sure. I think this is going to be game, though. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this one at this stage. With no spawns in range, I certainly think this is going to go the way of the Axis. But thank you very much for sticking around with us. We'll take a quick look at the stats here just at the end of this game. We see Peculiar Fridge there, 1.12 kills per minute, 69 kills in total so far. Thorpey here with 66 kills, 1.7 kills per minute. Drayski, Chicken and Waffles above 1. Rav is at 1. And then rounding out the top 10, we've got Billy, Sultan, Ryber, FLK and Scarp Skyter there, and at the top of the deaths at 0.69 deaths per minute, we've got Goof with Vida Milk, King Josh, S-Tech, Soldad, Rob Star there, STDB, Captain Calfee, Jacob flows on, and Jules in the top 10. Sultan there, 54 kill streak with the artillery guns, not too bad at all. I'm going to assume maybe Pokjiwi. I can't speak Polish, I'm afraid. With 37 kills in artillery, Flo with plenty on artillery as well. But Dreyski getting 24 with the MG, very, very nice indeed. But that'll be the end of this game. I'm going to flick back so that I can just quickly skim down these scores, because I know people are always interested in seeing what their scores are after the game. Just feel free to pause it, and I'll quickly run down the axis as well as we scroll down this one at the same time. But thank you very much for hanging out and coming to watch the stream. I hope you'll have a good rest of your evening, and take care.